Hi, my name is Sean Russell. I am the founder of Soflo Vegans and one of the co-promoters for the Vegan Health and Fitness Expo. I've been vegan 10 years now officially. I started back in 2013, but my story goes back to 2008 when I first dabbled in the lifestyle thinking it was a diet. It didn't stick, and eventually 2013 I decided I wanted to build community around this now lifestyle, and I went on to found Soflo Vegans around 2016, and since then I've been able to go around this community, meet amazing restaurant owners, nonprofit organizations, and just individuals that make this lifestyle the way that I want to live the rest of my life.
Were you at all worried about not getting the right nutrients? How did you know this would be even practical or, safe?
So before I went vegan, I actually was looking to improve my health. So I got a resource called Beyond Diet and found out pretty much everything you need to know, A to Z, of the food that you're putting into your body. So I went into the lifestyle knowing the nutrition that I needed to have for myself. So that part didn't worry me as much. And also, as you start to speak to a lot of people, and like we're in a room full of vegan bodybuilders that are all natural. So just that alone, makes you know that it is possible. And the other piece to it too, when I first started in this community, one of the first people that I met was Corinne Sutton. And if you don't know Corinne Sutton, he is like looks like a picture, like a sculpture, the way this guy takes care of himself. And he's all natural and a shining example of what you can do with this lifestyle.
In summary, it sounds like you originally did this in 2008 as a dietary experiment. That didn't work. What went wrong there?
So realizing that I didn't have a community to support me was what went wrong. And in 2013, it took me a while to get back into the swing of things. But in 2013, that's when I realized, okay, if I can't find the community, I get to make the community, because that's been my MO for most of my life. For the past 26 years of my life as an adult, I've built communities around my interests, and now I've built a community around my lifestyle. So anything that I need to know, just go to a gathering and speak to the people in that room, and you'll find you have a wealth of resources available to you.
Wow, that's awesome. And so this second time around, you built community, and that's called Soflo, right?
Soflo Vegans.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that. What is that?
So the mission of Soflo Vegans is to make South Florida a global hotspot for veganism. And that is compact. That is a dense statement, because I've lived in South Florida my entire life. And this is a true melting pot. They say New York is a melting pot. They say all these different places. No, South Florida is the key melting pot, because you have the Caribbean, you have Latin America, you have a lot of people migrating from LA, from the West Coast, from the Midwest, from Chicago, from the North. Like, I grew up with 75% of my friends being from New York. If you want to know how many New Yorkers are here, just go to a Dolphins game when they're playing the Jets. They'll show up. So just having all these different people in one place, it's like, okay, how do I build a community that services everybody? And that's really what we do with Soflo Vegans. So anything from podcasts to events, magazines, just released a book called Pre-Vegans, mobile app, anything you can think of, we created to help this community thrive.
You got a pretty big team?
So I have a team of amazing individuals. Most of them are volunteers, but I also have a few event captains, volunteer coordinators, and pretty much they just help me from event to event and with these different initiatives as well. So, it's definitely not me by myself. We have a team that has been supporting since 2017. A lot of people come and go, but ultimately that spirit is there. And I invite anyone, if you're in the South Florida area, to reach out and see if you want to be a part of this team as well.
Cool. And where are we today?
So we are at the Vegan Health and Fitness Expo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the Broward County Convention Center. And not only is it the Vegan Health and Fitness Expo, it's also the World Vegan Bodybuilding Championships. It's the second time they've held this event. First time was 2018 in Fort Lauderdale as well. So we're excited to bring it all back. I'm partnered with Clean Machine to put together this event, and we're excited it's here, and just everything that's happening, I'm so glad to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, awesome. And it was a struggle too, I'm sure, because of this unprecedented historic rainfall we had like 2 days before the event.
Oh my goodness. I say I've lived in South Florida 41 years. I'm 41, by the way. I've lived here my whole life. I've never experienced anything like that. Luckily, the weather's cleared up. All the puddles, for the most part, have dried up. Not the cars. The cars are still a few stranded, Walking Dead looking cars around here, but it's that's the thing about South Florida. We're resilient, we bounce back. We're always at the center of some huge controversy or some event, but that's what makes us who we are. In the face of this adversity, we move forward and we make the best out of it.
What kind of changes did you experience going vegan? Was there any changes?
There definitely was. Before I went vegan, I was suffering from allergies. I had to get a shot every single week. I was taking Flonase, everything you could think of. Woke up completely congested. And after I went vegan, I would say 2 to 3 months, didn't stop taking the shots, stopped waking up congested, and nothing else really changed except how I was eating. So I attribute that to me eliminating a lot of things from my diet that I was eating before. So that was one of the things. The other thing was I dropped a lot of weight, and I wasn't even working out that much at the time. And you hear that a lot from a lot of other vegans who started their journey, that there's this weight drop, especially if you have weight to drop, that you experience. So that was definitely my case as well.
Anything else, like anything mentally, emotionally?
Going vegan kind of led me to becoming more spiritual, led me to different types of communities, some different plant-based medicines, just to explore what this world has to offer. So in that sense, part of my journey started with the health, and I tell everyone right now, I'm vegan for compassion, and it's not just when I say compassion, I'm not just saying being nicer to other people. And my definition of compassion doesn't just extend to other people, it also extends to myself. I get to remind myself that I get to be in a place of love. I get to meet people where they are, and I get to be patient as well when I'm interacting with other people. So that has been the shift in me, and I could definitely attribute that to starting my vegan journey back in 2008.
Could you be with somebody who isn't vegan?
I could. I don't believe in closing off opportunities and doors, because I do believe in me being a stand for what I believe in that can enroll others. So, but my preference, I would definitely say, is to be around people, especially in that sort of space, that share my lifestyle. But I've definitely dated people who aren't vegan, so I could 100% be with someone that's not vegan.
Like forever, or at least temporarily, to see if they're potentially going in?
No, it would definitely be with the intention of them definitely adopting the lifestyle as well. So, yeah.
Do you have any quotes you want to share?
I mean, my favorite quote is, be the change that you want to see in the world. I believe that could be attributed to Gandhi. I feel like that's just the best advice for anything. If there's something you want to see in other people, be that. Show up as that, and you'll see that show up for you.
So it sounds like you've become more ethical in this journey. That could be difficult at times, right?
I mean, it could be difficult, but at the same time, not so much, because that's why I'm focusing on the compassion side of things, because I don't go into an exchange with another person with the intention of changing them. So that takes the pressure off of me when I see people not practicing my brand of ethics. And that also goes to the quote. If I see that someone's doing something that doesn't align with me or where I am, I get to check in and make sure I'm being a stand and I'm showing up authentically as that. And I also get to come from a place of understanding versus judgment. So that understanding, if there's someone that eats meat and is finger pointing and this, that, and the other, I would much rather have a conversation to get to know a little bit more about them and why they are the way they are versus getting upset and taking myself out of a place of love in hopes that that's going to, make a change or allow them to, quote unquote, see the light. So it's like I'm not trying to match their energy. I get to control my energy and show up in hopes that maybe I just plant a seed, and then maybe over the years it starts to get watered and they become that slaughterhouse butcher that is now an award-winning vegan documentarian. And yeah, that is an actual person.
It sounds like you've developed this tactic in your approach that prevents you from getting frustrated with others.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of that came from some personal work that I did, which I 100% recommend. Well, however that looks, Tony Robbins, this, whatever you want to do, I believe that at a point in your life, you get to lift the hood up and see what's underneath, see what your operating system is, and figure out if you want to upgrade or if you want to completely wipe it and reprogram it. We have that ability. I firmly believe that we are the authors of our lives and what we want to see show up. And if you truly want to take that on, there are tools out there and there are people out there who can help you do that. So I spent 3 years of my life solely working on myself, and that allowed me to really realize like what I want to be and what I don't want, rather what I want to be and not necessarily what I don't want to be, because I'm focusing on the positive, moving forward, not going backwards. So that plays a role, and a huge role, in why I say I'm vegan for compassion, because just not abstaining from eating meat and animal products, wearing animal products, that is that constant reminder that I get to check in and who I'm being today.
So what does a typical day look like eating-wise?
Typical day, I do intermittent fasting, so I drink some water and some light beverages in the morning, and then I go to the gym on an empty stomach. Then when I come back from the gym, I have a little shake situation that I make with some clean machine fruits and vegetables and a whole bunch of other stuff, ashwagandha, all that type of stuff. And that gives me a lot of energy and a boost throughout the day. Then I usually eat more towards the later afternoon and have one big meal for the most part, and a lot of protein, because I do resistance training and high intensity interval training, HIIT training. Yeah, that's pretty much what my day looks like, but there's also the days where I go out to Miami or Palm Beach or Broward County and I'm going to different vegan restaurants. I try to limit that to like 2 to 3 times a week at most. But for the most part, I like to cook at home and make some rice bowls and things of that nature.
Is there anything that we didn't hit on that you think would be cool to get out there?
I definitely say my advice for anyone that is pre-vegan or looking to start their journey, be clear on your why. Figure out why you're doing it, because that why is going to keep you going when things get tough or when the temptations get too tempting. Knowing that why is bigger than that turkey burger or whatever your vice is, I would say focus on that. And if you don't have a strong enough why, maybe dig a little bit deeper to see what that could be for you.
In respect to encouraging others, do you have any tips? Because you did go there already, but I want to make sure you...
Yeah, in terms of encouraging others, I would say be that example. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just show up as that. If you want people to be vegan, make sure you're in a good mental space. Make sure you're in a good physical space, because people see that. Because you'll be surprised with the amount of people that are interested based on knowing you, but they just don't have that why. They don't have that motivating force to say, okay, let me completely change my life. There gets to be a little bit more than that. And if you're showing up and you're living the life and you're having fun and you're excited about what you're doing, they're going to be probably more apt to ask questions, and then you have something you can work with.
How do you define vegan?
Not participating in the murder or exploitation of animals for food, for entertainment, or for any purposes. My goal is to do my best to make sure I'm living by that example.
For some, the word vegan may have a negative connotation. Do you ever try to avoid using that word?
No, I don't. I put it in my I guess my community's name, Soflo Vegans. Yeah. So I don't have any objections to the word vegan, and I've seen the word vegan transform tremendously over the last 5 years, where the conversation was, let's use plant-based. Now a lot of people want to use vegan because it's trendy, and a lot of people are talking about it.
Do you have any regrets?
I have zero regrets in terms of this lifestyle that I've adopted for myself. I have zero interest of ever consuming animal products, wearing animal products. The temptation is not there at all.
Why didn't you go vegan sooner?
I wasn't ready. It wasn't my time. I feel like the events that led up to me being vegan were perfectly designed for me to be the person that I am today.
Prior to going vegan, did you ever think there's no way I could do that?
Yes, I thought it was, whoa, this is extreme. Like, thinking back, like, I think the only vegan that I really knew like that was Skeeter Valentine from Doug. That's a super throwback for some of you over 35-year-old people.
How many elements have you acquired since going vegan?
I don't know what you mean. I mean, my protein deficiency is something that keeps me up at night. No, I'm kidding. I've probably only been sick 3 times in the last 10 years, and one of those was COVID. So I don't take over-the-counter medication, and so it's like I've been probably in the best health of my life since going vegan.
Do you have any tips on how others might consider getting started?
I would definitely say look locally, find groups, events, farmers markets. Those are places where a lot of vegans come together. And meetup.com is a great resource. If you're in South Florida, check out Soflo Vegans and just meet up with people, connect, build community. That's what I would say is the best way to get started.
You think we'll ever see a vegan world?
I 100% believe we'll see a vegan world, and there'll be podcasts on people who want to eat meat, and they'll be in the 2%.
Do you have any success stories, maybe where you've helped somebody else go vegan, or you've just observed somebody else go vegan and something awesome happened?
Just for me, when I have a close friend and someone that has been talking about it and finally does it, and I could see their success online and celebrate their wins and their victories, that to me is a huge success, and it gives me hope to just continue being who I am and just being there for someone when they're ready.
Now, Soflo Vegans, is that the URL?
So soflovegans.com, and then Soflo Vegans everywhere else. It's going to be attached to us.
Yeah, like Instagram, Facebook, and all that.
Exactly.
Excellent.
TikTok.
So what's next on you have anything else that wouldn't date this video that you might want to share coming up?
Yeah, so we are working on a project that is out right now. So whenever you watch this video, you can check it out, called Vegans Explore. And the whole concept is to slowly grow this movement that we've created in South Florida and other pockets across the globe. And 2022, I had the good fortune of traveling the world and meeting other vegan communities, in Europe and Hawaii and New York, LA, and see what is brewing. So that plays a role in what we're creating with Vegans Explore.
Vegans Explore?
Yeah.
Explorer or just Explore?
Just Vegans Explore. Like Vegans Explore this city, Vegans Explore different parts, Vegans Explore different topics. And then it's a lot of what we're doing in South Florida with Soflo Vegans, but working with other communities around the world to lend and pull our resources to make something even bigger.
Awesome. Now, is that something like it almost sounds like it's like a franchise opportunity?
It's a franchise community. The whole concept and my mission is to build communities that are economically sustainable and viable. So all the work I'm doing with Soflo Vegans is to figure out that model. The idea being that if we can then support other communities, grassroots communities, and combine as one larger network of communities, we can then go and have leverage to speak to sponsors, speak to different people who could support these communities. And then that, whether that be small business owners or nonprofit organizations, events, I just want anyone that wants to build a vegan community not to have to go through the hoops and hurdles I went through. So I'm taking a lot of what I learned and a lot of what other people know, and we're creating something that I don't see in the space right now.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that. I guess you have a booth in here. What's your role here today?
So my role is I'm one of the co-promoters with Clean Machine for the event, and I'm also the marketing director for the Vegan Health and Fitness Expo. So a lot of what you've seen on the website and social media is created by me and my company. So excited to have that participation in the event. And I did a presentation to kick off the show, and I'll be moderating the panel with Chef Babette and Shabnam Islam on the main stage for the event as well.
Awesome. I appreciate all you're doing, and I guess I'll untether you and let you free.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.